Hey everybody, this week's episode of Degrees of Science features the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension office, kind of what they do as a whole, what they provide, and just the education opportunities too. I have the lovely Madeline Makovy here with me, and she specializes in 4-H and youth development programs. We'll talk a lot about that and more about the opportunities that the agency really features. Texans helping Texans. It's a lot of information we cover, and you'll definitely want to tune in for our conversation. So, Madeline, thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
Well, we're so lucky to have you here, and it sounds like this has been a part of your life pretty much your entire life.
Yes.
Yeah, so for those that it's not specifically, just innate to know a little bit about what you guys do or even agriculture, like what would you say to people that want to know more?
We have limitless opportunities. So say you are a crop producer, we have the Ag and Natural Resources side of that. We have many programs that do that. We also have the family and community health. So that could be anywhere from food and nutrition, learning how to can. Lots of people are interested in that right now. Diabetes programs, so many more options. And then we also have my side, which is, 4-H and youth development. So that is kind of that overview as far as the different programs, but it's not all agriculture. So you don't have to be a farmer. You don't have to own a pair of boots. So we have especially through 4-H. So say you're an adult and you just kind of want to help out and kind of invest in the youth of today, you can volunteer. So we're always looking for volunteers. Volunteers are super important. Say you're a photographer and you want to help support our photography club, you can come be a club manager and kind of our project leader and kind of supervise that project. So it's kind of really good opportunities for both adults and then the youth, because say they don't have the money to buy an animal, or say they don't like animals. Some people don't like animals, especially some parents. They don't want a bunny in their house. It's not just animals. The typical stereotype of 4-H is animals.
Yeah.
So there's other aspects to it. So we have robotics, we have STEM activities, we have photography, we have food and nutrition. So you can do like a food challenge, you learn about like healthy things, and then you can also bake and enter our food show as well.
That's
and
cool.
Then we also have fashion and interior design. So that would be like you can buy under 25 and then describe your clothing and win a contest. It's super awesome.
That's cool.
Or they learn how to sew, and we have something called Duds to Dazzle.
Mm-hmm.
They take scrap material and then they have to make something. So it's a super awesome, there's unlimited opportunities. There's even a dog show. Didn't know you could show a dog until I joined 4-H. So it's really interesting. So if there's something out there that you're like, I think I would probably be good at that, we probably have it.
So that's through the schools, or that's just at any age level that they can start to get involved in some of those things?
So that's not technically through the schools.
Okay.
That is just through the 4-H program.
Okay.
So you just go online and join 4-H, and then you kind of pick your projects from there. To be a 4-H member, technically, you have to be in 3rd grade and above.
Okay.
8 and in the 3rd grade, technically. But you could also be a Clover Kid. So we have Clover Kids here in McLennan County. A lot of people don't know about them, but it's under 3rd grade. So, and they're completely free. So
and that falls under what you specialize in too?
So the Clover Kids are allowed to compete in all of our contests, all of our workshops that we put on through our office, all of our events that we host. So they can come, they can see it, but they can't go to the higher contest.
Why do you think that you guys cover so much, or why is it so important that it's all encompassing? Because I know that when people, like you said at the beginning, people think about AgriLife Extension, they think about farming and they think about crops and animals, but it's so much more than that. And just I wanted to hear your perspective on why that's so important to know it's more than that.
Yeah, I think it's really important that, especially for the youth, they're the next generation, to invest in them. We teach them life skills. That's the main highlight. Even just adults, we teach adults life skills because some of them haven't grown up around that. And so you kind of want to reiterate that, hey, how are we going to survive if we get in a drought and if we lose power for 3 days? How can we cook? That type of thing. So it's honestly a great program, because, or organization I should say, that we offer all of these different things, because you never know what life skills you're going to need, especially for our youth. We teach them the life skills and a lot of leadership.
So, we're talking about AgriLife Extension office in McLennan County, but there's actually almost an extension office for every single county in Texas, right?
Yes, so there's 254 counties in the state of Texas. We have offices in 250 of those counties, but those 4 counties are not left out. Nobody worries. They are just kind of partnered with another county that's close by, just because they might be smaller.
Sure. So what do you think, why are there so many offices across the state of Texas? I mean, it seems like that's a lot of agents in the offices and a lot of programs happening.
Yes, lots of programs because we want to educate everybody. There's a lot of people out there who don't know. Everything's different. So what we do here in McLennan County might be completely different than what they're doing up in the Panhandle or in East Texas. So they might have trees to handle. We might not have trees to handle. Down at the coast, they might be dealing with hurricanes. We might be dealing with tornadoes. It's completely different everywhere, and so that's why there's different ones in every county, and that's why we always host different programs than everybody else.
Yeah, and it seems like when you have so many offices across the state of Texas, you really can give it that local focus. And what do the Texans in that county really need?
Yeah, so we have something called our lab, which is our leadership advisory board. Those are elected officials around the county, just higher in business people who we ask to come to our leadership advisory board, and we have a meeting and they kind of express what are the needs in the county. So then we do that based on the food and nutrition side, the ag side, and then the 4-H and youth development. Like, what do the kids need? What do the adults need? What does everybody need? And then we kind of take those ideas and we condense them to one program, and then we put on a program that our whole office works on.
Okay.
So it kind of just highlights what are the real needs of the county, and then each of us agents, we take that list that they gave us and we can try to assess that, because that's important, because obviously it's an issue, obviously it's a need and a want. And so we're going to go try to fix that.
Well, and you know what we do here, like as meteorologists, is we, forecast the weather. We try to predict the weather, and I know weather plays a big important role with what you guys do. How does that affect your programs and like the every day to day?
I mean, we were suffering from a drought for a little bit, and that was really, really hard, especially on our crops. We lost a lot of crops, especially corn. So expect prices to go up, and that's what the hardest thing is that through those weather changes and through those significant weather changes, people don't understand that that really has an effect on everything, not just crops. It has an effect on the prices of beef. If you notice, the chicken eggs are getting smaller. It has an effect on the prices of chicken, everything.
And like you just mentioned, I think what you said was so important too, like the weather affects, the crop production, which affects the production, which affects the prices. And it shows that everything is just kind of all cyclical.
Yes.
And you guys offer so much that covers a gambit of things that I think everything is all tied together too. And you wouldn't even think about, your photography program or your fashion program being tied with your agricultural program.
Yes, it's completely opposite, but I mean, they're all connected in some way. So we have what kind of clothing are you wearing? Do you know where that comes from? That type of thing. That's really important as well.
That's so cool. And I think it's what you do is like one of the most important things that your office does. I mean, everything that you've listed is so important, but I think getting the kiddos in at such a young age and teaching them those skills is just unparalleled to any knowledge that they can get really outside of what you provide.
Yeah.
Is that with a passion that you have, or how did you get into the role that you are in now?
So I have great mentors. I have my mom's. She was my 4-H agent, and then I just kind of went under her wing. I also had a really awesome ag teacher, and so both of them were both extension agents. And so then I just kind of fell in love with it. My passion and my purpose is to teach agriculture, whether that's in the classroom or like I am doing now. I think it's really important for a kid to know where their milk comes from and where their eggs come from. And not just kids, like adults need to know, but the kids are going to be adults one day and they need to know how to teach their kids as well.
Kind of give us just one more overview kind of why you think the agency is so important and just how people can get involved in what you're doing.
The overview of the agency is that there's something for everybody. Whether you know livestock, whether you know crops, whether you know how to can, whether you know diabetes, education, things like that. We are a continuing arm branch of education through Texas A&M. So what they learn there, what the research facilities learn, they're going to share with us, and we're going to share it to our community, and we're going to try to help out. If there's a question about why is my tree dying, we're going to find the answer. But there's unlimited opportunities. You just have to ask and try to get involved. And the main thing is if you try to get involved, we're going to be there to support you. We're going to be there to back you up, because Texans helping Texans.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming and talking with me today. And I know that we're going to hear a lot more great things in the upcoming weeks and years to come. I mean, you'll have so much to cover that there's just, I could talk to you forever about what you guys do. So thank you again for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we'll see you guys next week.